Okay, welcome back. My name is Edwin Patterson, and thanks for watching. This particular video came from seeing a video on YouTube. And here was the title. Sorry, but Mormons aren't Christians. Well, that's interesting. What's the thinking here? Because I view myself as a Christian, that's for sure. So I watched the video, and it was very interesting. They had a Christian minister who had opinions. And the opinions were Mormons just aren't getting it as far as Christ goes. They aren't Christian. And he went through some reasons and some thoughts. Then he came to a kind of a juxtapose, and he said, let me just tell you, in the old days, the Mormons were tough. Today, they try to be like Christians, but they're really not. So what does that mean? So he quoted Joseph Smith out of the Joseph Smith story in the Pearl of Great Price. But he quoted it wrong, I thought. And the way he said, and this guy is young, he's bright, he's good looking, he's not snarky looking, but he said, Joseph said this about us Christians. All Christian churches are an abomination. I don't remember that in there, but I hadn't read it for a while. And he kind of paused and said, that's why the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints really isn't Christian. They cast out all the Christian folks, and they try to be something else through the Restoration. So he's going through different machinations, and that's okay. It's just what it is. But I thought, well, I'm going to look this up and check it out, because I don't think that's exactly what's said in the Scriptures. So I go to Pearl of Great Price, Joseph Smith's story, and look it up. I'll be danged. I'm going to share with you something that you may not be familiar with. There's 3 verses, but they tell the absolute basis of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints on what we believe and why. So if you are a Mormon out there and you go, yeah, I'm a good person, and I know we believe in the Book of Mormon and have some other doctrines that are interesting, these 3 verses are going to say this is the foundation. If you're in jive with that, then everything else is going to make sense to you. If you don't understand these, it's going to be, oh, holy cow. So what was said? Now, if you recall, Joseph at 14, went out into the grove to pray. He had a question. So you may not remember this precisely, or not even know it, but a lot of the antis say Joseph was well read in the Bible. And they use the example, Joseph was reading James 1:5, and it told him to go ask God what was right. And see, that's evidence on their side that he's a good studier. Again, I'm struggling at gnats here, but it's just interesting to me. William Smith, there were 6 brothers. 5 of them are dead by 1844. One last, William, the youngest, lived into the 1880s. He gave a kind of a review of his experience with the Mormons. And he remembered he and his family went to a bunch of preachers preaching and listened to different groups. They were a Presbyterian minister. Joseph Sr. didn't like the guy. I don't know if it was hell and damnation or what he didn't like, but he said, let's move on. They went to a Methodist preacher, and the preacher said in his discussion, go to James 1:5. That's how you'll find out which of us is true. So Joseph went and read, but it says, go ask God. So that's how he found the verse, which is interesting to me. Again, I'm a little thought. So he goes out and he prays. Now we know the story fairly well. He's attacked by some spirit that ain't too good, tries to knock him down. He finally overcomes it. He kneels and he prays. And he's asking, which church is right? Which one should I go to? I don't know. When he asks the question, he has a vision. The vision is God the Father and Jesus Christ appearing to him, standing up in the air. Now he's 14. He's not expecting any big anything. He's just trying out prayer for the first time. What does he think? Now I'm going to read 3 verses. It's 17, 18, and 19 in the Joseph Smith story. And I hope you'll listen close to some of the verbiage. It's unbelievable what's said. Now think of the Christian guy I saw on YouTube. He quoted it wrong. We don't believe that Christian churches are an abomination. What was said is amazing what this says. Just hold with me. We'll just kind of roll through this and see what you think. Okie doke. So, 17. It was no sooner appeared than I found myself delivered from the enemy which held me bound. When the light rested upon me, I saw two personages whose brightness and glory defy all description, standing above me in the air. Now, people who don't believe in the church go, oh, you can say anything you want. And that's true, you can. The validation for these three verses is the Book of Mormon. That's why they try so hard to destroy it. Because if it stands, Joseph stands, and all the words he says stand. So let's read on. So the personages are there, their brightness and glory defy all description, standing above me in the air. One of them spake to me, calling me by name, and said, behold, this is my beloved son, hear him. So this is the Father speaking to Joseph. Here's my son Christ, hear what he has to say. Well, what would Christ have to say to a 14-year-old boy? Can you right now think, yes, I've read that story before, I can tell you what he said, or not? So let's get into that. Verse 18, Joseph says, my objective was to go and to inquire of the Lord to know which of the sex was right, that I might know which to join. Okay, that's pretty straightforward. No sooner, therefore, did I get possession of myself, so as to be able to speak, than I asked the personages who stood above me in the light, which of all the sex was right. For at this time, it never entered into my heart that all could be wrong, and which I should join. So now Christ is going to give him three amazing nuggets that are subtle. You may have missed them, but they are a key to our religion. Verse 19, I was answered, number one, I must join none of them. Okay, that's the first shot out of the dark. For they are wrong. And the persons who addressed me said, now listen carefully, think back to the Christian minister. He said that, Joseph said that all Christian religions were an abomination. Here's what he said, Christ said. He said that all their creeds were an abomination. Do you know what a creed is? It's just stunning to see that word right there. I'd never noticed that before. A creed is something that is not found in the Bible. Now, the Christians believe the Bible is inerrant, is perfect, it has everything you need in it. But there are things that can't be found. And so you have creeds. So in 325 AD, they had the Nicene group gather together to determine what is the nature of God. And there were two sides, Godhead and Trinity. They debated, they discussed, they decided, they voted that going forward from 325 AD, the Trinity would be the nature of the Godhead, 3 in 1. And there were other other groups that met after and voted after and maintained or refined what that really meant. Now Christ is talking to Joseph Smith. And what's he say? Their creeds are an abomination. Here's Christ and Father, two people, they have form, they have flesh. Joseph can see them. The Trinity doctrine is not true. And that became one of the fundamental beliefs of the church when it was started. We believe in Godhead, not in Trinity. Now, Christians get upset by that. And they say, oh, you believe in the wrong Christ. But the reality is, who believes in the wrong Christ? And I'm not bashing Christians. I know so many good Christian men that are spiritual men. I'm just saying, it's very interesting to say the first thing out of his mouth, don't join any church. Their creeds are abominable. And the entire Christian world at that time believed in Trinity. Well, let's go on. What else did he say? He's still got one zinger to go. Okay, he says, this is verse 19 again. Those professors were all corrupt, that they draw near me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. And they teach for the doctrines of the commandments of men, having a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. Another creed. Are you aware of inerrancy? Do you know what that word? Have you heard that before? That is that the Bible is all that God needs to give us. It has everything in it. Yet we have a creed of Trinity, which is fundamental to the Christians. They can't find it in the Bible. And inerrancy is a creed. You can't find it in the Bible. And so they're denying God's power. And what Christ is saying is, I want to talk. I want to share. I need a prophet on the earth so I can tell you what I have in mind. These people won't even listen to that. Christians say, don't pray. God doesn't answer prayers. There will be no more revelation ever, ever again, because the Bible has it all. No more prophets. Anyone who says they're a prophet is a liar, because there can't be a liar or a prophet because we have the Bible. And in one little verse, this is all that Christ is going to say to Joseph. Don't join the churches out there. Their creeds are abominable. And we do with Trinity initially. They deny my power. My power is to communicate, to talk, to share. In one small little verse, Joseph Smith at 14 was taught, new things are coming, my boy. There will be a restoration, not a reformation. Reformation, again, I'm not here to bash Christians. That's not my interest at all. What they do is a good thing. I'm just saying that restoration brings hope. And as another aside, down the road, there are 10 doctrines of the church that I'm going to go through one video at a time, compared to the Christian doctrine. Again, I'm not, you'll hear no bad mouthing, I'm not interested in that. But every doctrine given is a superior, sweeter, better doctrine. Trinity versus Godhead, inerrancy, the prophet versus just the Bible. How are people saved? How many people are going to be saved? What is heaven? What is hell? Different things like that. And you'll see that, okay, here's what the Christians believe, and it's okay, but there's a better way of looking at all of them and found in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Now, last story and I'm done. So I follow a fellow on YouTube, really a nice fellow. He has a channel that's called 52 Churches in 52 Weeks. He was raised Catholic, left, went to the Assembly of God, didn't care for it, so it was out of it. He viewed himself as a spiritual man, but not a religious man. He wanted to go to a lot of churches to find home. Where can I find home out there? And so he began. And it's very interesting. So every week he went to a different church, showed up, kind of, here I am, watched, listened, just observed. He went to mega churches, went to small churches, went to Protestant, evangelical, all different kind, and went to the LDS church as well. Last week he made an announcement. He had joined one of those churches. He'd found a home. He joined the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. He didn't even know who they were when he started this process a year ago. But he said the doctrine and the people make me feel this is home. That's how I feel. I'm sincere in that. Now Christians, antis, critics can say, oh, Edwin, you're just crazy. All those things are very, very real to me. I love that. I love this. Can I join the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints? Son of a gun. How would that have happened? Look him up. He's a sweet guy. Well, that's really what I want to accomplish today, but it's just interesting, the power of Christ and what he said right at the first initial step with Joseph is the foundation of what we believe in today. Beautiful. Love you. Appreciate you watching. Hope to see you on down the road.